Alright guys, the first Berserker Khazan is officially out, and it's time to talk about some armors you should probably consider picking up early. Each of these armor sets have some pretty unique effects that could help your progress, whether it be for stat efficiency like giving you better stamina or even more heal charges. Whatever the case, there's a few good sets that you should consider. Now before we dive on in, keep in mind we are doing a giveaway for the first Berserker Khazan. All you need to do is be subscribed to the channel, leave me a like, and just comment anything about the game, and then you're instantly entered into the giveaway. Make sure you check out the community post so you know if you won. And yeah, just like that guys, let's dive into the first set of armor. Alright, so the first set of armor we're going to be talking about is the Ashen Wolf set. This is a really solid armor set for anyone who wants to have some really good stamina efficiency and the ability to get one additional heal. And if you get the complete full set, this is very suited to anyone who really likes the greatsword playstyle. Again, you don't necessarily need to play the greatsword to utilize it, but the greatsword does get the biggest benefit specifically with this, but still great because you get a lot of heal from it, which should help you pretty immensely whenever you're transitioning into some of the bosses, especially since this is a very early game armor. Now, where do we get this armor? Well, first off, you can find it pretty much facing any enemy in the Storm Pass. I think it's a completely random drop, but for the most part, if you face off against elites, you can find them fairly easy. So that's going to be the one of the more residual ways that you're going to find it. But for the most part, if you want to target it specifically, you're going to go to the Mount Hymetch, and then you're going to go to the Yeti domain, and you're going to pretty much face off against the Yeti multiple times, as this is going to be the primary way to almost always guarantee to get a piece. Now, I specifically tested this myself, and though I have a much faster kill time to kill this monster, I kill him in like 20 seconds. It took me roughly about 10, maybe less minutes to get a full set of Ashen. If you're a little bit like slower or lower DPS, it may take you a tad bit longer, but for the most part, I think you should be able to get this within 20 minutes if you're just slamming out the Yeti. And in my opinion, once you get past the entire Storm Pass zone and you're maybe coming to the first boss, you could stop at the final boss rather, and then you can go back and farm this and have a full-fledged Ashen set, or just get a handful of pieces before you even go up there, and you have yourself a very solid set. Again, the set is going to be very strong for the greatsword, but still very good for anyone who wants a little bit of stamina and heals. Alright, next we're going to be looking at the Soul Eater set. Now, the Soul Eater set is probably the coolest looking set in the entire game, so far at least. And this is going to be a set that you can get relatively early as well. Now, unlike the previous set, you are actually capable of getting this set for all three weapons. So that's really nice for anyone who wants to use a combination of different weapons. It's really good and usable. But I find this set to be really good because it's very solid all around stats. You're going to get stamina. You're going to get HP recovery whenever you kill an enemy. This is like general HP recovery or a percent of it. And this is great because when you're running around the map and you're like exploring and you're just fighting like trash mobs and stuff like that, this is going to help sustain you. You're also going to get stamina recovery, which is again pretty general and good for pretty much any of the weapons. You're going to get brutal attack damage increase, and this again will be good for anyone doing charge attack. And then you will learn Phantom Judgment. And what Phantom Judgment does is it's a really awesome skill, and it'll be in your skill tree if you're looking for it somewhere in there. You'll just have to look at the very bottom. But essentially what this does is whenever enemies are exhausted, you can do your like brutal poison strike attack. What you can do instead is you can attack, and then you can use this skill and it'll consume 3 spirit, but it will prolong the exhausted state, which means you can get way more damage out of it. So while it is more of a exploration style gear, I would argue, is also a general really good set that can be used on any weapon and still be really effective. Now, how do we get this weapon? Well, you're going to go to Storm Pass and you're going to be facing off against the boss in the Tempest Cliff. Now, this guy has a chance to drop every single piece. Yes, I tested it, and this is going to be a great way to get it. The other thing I would recommend though is if you go to Storm Pass and you go over to the Tempest Cliff that has the level 17 version of him, this can be even better because you have the ability to drop higher level gear, and this means that if you're looking for a little bit more longevity in your gear, you can actually like get higher level stuff. So let's say you're like level, I don't know, 23 or something, and you're facing this area, I would typically go to the Storm Pass specifically and just look for a higher level one. The other thing that's really great about this boss as well is he actually drops the Ashen set, and once again I was able to get a full-fledged Ashen set from it as well. So it means if you are still interested in the previous Ashen Wolf set and you want to continue to use it, you can drop a higher level version, because the previous version will be, when you fight it from the Yeti, will be the highest level you can possibly get it, will be level 21 without like blacksmith or anything like that. So long story short, make sure you come to the Tempest Cliffs. I would ideally farm the level 17 version, because he's going to give you way more out of it. Alright, next let's talk about the Butcher set. Now the Butcher set is an interesting one, because this one can be a little ambiguous in how you obtain it. But from what I can tell as of right now recording this video, is that this is typically dropped from facing off against elites. Now this can have a random RNG drop from any mob that I can tell, because I have gotten it from like random elites in the world. But because I think elites have a bigger loot pool, it can be a little bit annoying to target farm this. What I found specifically was to fight elites, and they need to be very specific elites that have the elite thing, you know, the gray area, they're elite. Like, you need to do that specifically. Now, the thing with the Butcher set is the swift attack will give you damage multiplier increased by 10% whenever you're doing swift attacks. You're also going to get attack chain whenever you get 5 attacks off on swift. You can use any weapon you want. This is going to be more specific to dual wield, because dual wields do have a weapon specific for this. But again, I use this on my spear build because I attack very rapidly, and so you're going to get a little bit of extra benefit from it if you're using the dual wield. But still, swift attacks is what this is. You're also going to get swift attack damage increase with the 4-piece, flash cutter damage increase with the 5-piece, which is going to be a little bit more specific to you know, the dual wield. And then you're going to get howling belly damage increase once again for the 6-piece using the dual wield. Now I typically stop this at around 3, maybe even 4 pieces, specifically because I use the spear. And again, this is a set that's actually pretty good for pretty much every build, as long as you're using swift attack. So yeah, like it. I think it's a really good armor set, but you may not get all pieces, which isn't a negative in my opinion, unless you're using dual wield. All right, next let's talk about the Bard set, and this one is a little bit unorthodox in terms of what this does. And this one isn't even a combat focused set. You can combat with it, and you probably will eventually, but what this set does is more of a like magic find, weapon find kind of set. Looks really cool, but that's kind of the focus on it. When you look at the affixes available, it has when you're unscathed, meaning whenever you don't get attacked or take a hit, you will get stamina recovery rate by 80%, meaning essentially this set wants you to run around since you have a lot of stamina and you're kind of not trying to get hit. You're going to have high grade item drop rate by 20%. You're also going to get weapon drop rate by 15%, and then you're going to get La Crema gain by 25% whenever you have all 5 pieces. Again, you can still use this as a combat set, but keep in mind you're not going to get a lot of like affix stat bonus benefits. You're mainly going to be getting a lot of like drop benefits, and I still think you need to have a set like this for whenever you're eventually farming for the set that you want for your build. Now, how does one get this set? And I'm going to talk you through this one because I was able to get this set extremely easy. So you need to be at the Skolfa cave. This is essentially the spider zone. And this is where you face off against a spider boss. And specifically, you're going to be at the poison depths. Once you get to the poison depths, I think this is like the best place to farm it. And rather than just talking about it, I'm just going to show you exactly where it's at. And we're just going to do this live. We'll do it live. And I'll just show you where to find the chest. But yeah, pretty much all these spiders here will eventually drop pieces of this set. Ooh, lag there. The problem with this area is that it has a lot of poison, which means you get into the situation where you can die from poison. The great thing about this set is you have so much stamina regen if you're not getting hit. Oh wait, this guy reset. Now this guy will be frenzy, and this guy is a good way to get a piece of this set. We're gonna keep running though because he's giga strong. As you can see, we are very stamina efficient with this set. It's actually kind of crazy. Where do we go again? This way. Let me go. Now this looks a little brutal because it is. Because you probably would be like naturally fighting. But seeing that you have so much stamina regen is just like crazy. That's why I like this set a lot. Because it's very stamina efficient. But anyway. You're just gonna follow the path you see me doing. I'm dying to poison. Then you're gonna come here. Then right here to the left, there will be the bonfire. I'm gonna show you exactly where the chest is. That's gonna drop a good portion of this set. I think it drops 3 out of 4 pieces basically. The rest you can just farm from the spiders themselves. Nothing to see here, spider. Stamina regen is crazy, but as you can see here, there's a chest here. I may die here, but this is the chest that you're gonna go to essentially. But yeah, for the most part, you'll get like 3 out of 4 pieces super easy. 3 out of 5 pieces super easy, or whatever it is. You'll get most of the pieces. Finally, let's talk about the Slayer set. And I don't have this set crafted just yet because I just kind of got it. But I did want to tell you guys how to get the full-fledged recipe for this one because it's a very quick one. What this set is going to do is going to give you dodge stamina cost decrease. It's going to give you some poison resistance, which isn't the greatest stat. It's going to give you swift damage, and then after brink dodge, you're going to get stamina damage increase for 10 seconds. And this is super good for like almost all the weapons as well, seeing that a lot of times you're going to brink dodge a lot of them, unless you're really into parrying. But for like, I think for the spear and for the dual wield, you're probably going to stamina dodge a lot. And then you're going to get more stamina damage. It's super good for the spear. I use the spear a lot. And then you're going to just have a lot of stamina decrease. You're going to do a lot of attack damage on your swift attacks. I think it's a really good balanced set. The only condition you need to do for this is very similar to how we went to the spider. Because on the last one where we went to get the bard set, the next area is just facing off against the spider. Once you finish the spider, the blacksmith is going to essentially tell you to go get his hammer. And once you get that blacksmith, he's going to essentially send you to the spider tomb here to go ahead and get his hammer. When you get to Jocko Hill, you're going to have to face off against a boss named Beerus, which is just a bear. And whenever you kill the bear, he's going to drop this recipe. So this one's a very quick one and straight to the point, not really much to explain. You're just going to do his mission to unlock him, and once you unlock the blacksmith, you're going to get this armor set kind of built in. I have a more in-depth guide on the channel on how to do everything and some tips. But for the most part, the Slayer set is really cool looking, so may be worth picking up because it is pretty solid overall. And there you have it, guys. Those are about 5 or so armor sets that I think are worth picking up in the first Berserker Khazan. Most of these you can get fairly early, and you can use this as progression as you're going through the game. The way I like to look at it is, I'd rather spend 20 minutes farming an armor set that's like efficient for my build than fighting a boss for an hour getting destroyed because I don't have a really solid set. That's my opinion on it, and for the most part, most of these didn't take very long. I think the longest took me was like 20 minutes. So anyway, if you did enjoy this video or if it helped you out in any way, consider leaving me a like. Even better yet, subscribing to the channel. I'm going to be covering some more of the first Berserker Khazan as well as pretty much every major release in 2025. If you enjoy like a variety of games, I'm going to be the perfect channel to check out for that. And just like that, guys, I'll see you in the next one very soon.